Hello, everyone, and welcome into the hospitality room presented by Mascot Media. Bobby Swofford, Blair Cartwright. It's been a minute or so, but it's summer, so it happens.
Hmm.
So, how are you handling the heat? Because, man, it's like we had spring for 3 days, and then bam,
Yeah,
summer's here.
yeah. It's that time of year. I played golf for the first time
Ooh,
this week. It
nice.
was it was awful. Not only the temperatures, but also my game because I haven't played since September. But and we're remodeling the office. Great time to do that. That's why everything looks so different and trashed up behind me. I don't normally
Yes.
have just cords running all over the place, but I've got to be able to connect to the internet somehow. So we've got
Yes.
wires and they tell me it's going to be done between now and sometime in 2027. So
Oh,
fingers crossed we get it done sooner than that.
nice. But it looks new. It looks nice.
Yeah, floor's nice. The paints are nice. We're getting new furniture at some point. So hopefully I have an office worth showing off in the coming weeks.
That's all you can ask for, right?
That's right.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive into our variety of topics. First one would be here it is, finally.
Hmm.
Baseball.
Yep.
Razorbacks. Did anybody else play in the regional? I mean, holy cow. I can't recall an Arkansas team rolling through a regional like they did this year.
Yeah, and did a fan base need that, or maybe a team need that as badly as Arkansas did? Uh,
Yeah.
Obviously, there were so many people freaking out as soon as they saw Creighton and Kansas were coming to town, like, oh, another year Arkansas is going to get bounced at home. And they just broke out the whooping sticks. And granted, Kansas helped out a little bit by not doing anything, kind of like what
Mm-hmm.
Kansas has done in the postseason against Arkansas the last couple sports. But uh, they blow through a Creighton team that won 40 plus games, on back to back occasions, Saturday and Sunday. And, it saves a lot of their pitching staff. And I mean, you got to feel really good about yourself. And of course, now that you roll forward to this week, and Arkansas fans are probably asking, why don't we reseed this thing after the regionals? But, they probably have, one of the toughest roads to the College World Series. Should they get there, though, things would set up pretty nicely.
I was thinking, granted, it's Arkansas and Tennessee. This is the matchup everybody wanted last year. And
Mm-hmm.
granted, it ended the regular season this year, and it wasn't quite the same. It's got that feel now. I mean,
Yeah.
tickets are crazy. People are excited. I mean, finally we get the matchup we've been wanting for. It kind of comes in an opportune time.
It does. Tennessee is going to be without their starting catcher. That's going to be
Hmm.
suspended for the first game because he was ejected in the Super Regional. Or excuse me, in the regional round against Wake Forest. They obviously had to play the extra game, the if necessary Game 7 of that regional. They were pushed for the most part by Wake
Hmm.
Forest. Obviously, Wake ran out of firepower that last day. But again, this is a team, and I said it last week. This is a team that finished tied for seventh in the SEC. I mean, it's not exactly last year's Tennessee squad that's rolling in ranked number one and just mowing over everybody. I mean, Arkansas, if they pitch, if Blair, they
Hmm.
pitch like they did last weekend, they're heading to Omaha. It's plain and simple. But how often have they pitched that way in consecutive weekends? Is the bugaboo.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, last weekend went. I mean, you could not have scripted it more perfectly than what it did for
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas. The bats, the pitching, the defense. I mean, it was just as complete a weekend as you could hope for. How do you follow it up?
Mm-hmm.
You're at home. It's going to be electric, but I, I don't know. I mean, we've said numerous times on this show, you want to play your best baseball this time of year, and it
Yep.
seems like Arkansas is doing that for the first time in quite a long time. So everybody is on pins and needles right now. That's a
Mm-hmm.
Razorback fan.
Yeah, but it also it should be like it always should be. It's just Arkansas fans are spoiled a little bit in baseball season. You should celebrate when they win. It should be a good
Yes.
thing. You should be excited about it. And I think we're getting a little bit more of that than hopefully we're getting that this week. And compared to what we saw last weekend was more of a sigh of relief that they won
Yes.
rather than a celebration of victory.
And in all honesty, I think Razorback fans don't want to admit it, but you'd rather be playing Tennessee than Wake Forest. In all honesty,
Yeah. Well, I
it'd
mean,
be
the casual fan would prefer Wake Forest because the tickets would have been a lot cheaper.
yeah, true, true. But the drama and and also let's mention that Arkansas is the highest seed remaining
Hmm.
as we begin super regional play.
Yeah.
I mean, Vanderbilt went out, didn't even make it to the championship of their regional.
Shouldn't have won a game.
Yeah,
They were a overturned home run call from not even winning a game in their regional.
and I don't even know if that was the right call.
It wasn't. I mean, based on what you saw on television, I don't know how you could have overturned it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the topics of postseason in both baseball and softball is this review process that's just
Hmm.
killing it. But I mean, and Aloy is your SEC Player of the Year. I mean, yeah, Razorback Baseball still just kind of, and they got the number one broadcast team coming to Fayetteville
Yeah,
this weekend.
figured that.
But they're still kind of a little bit under the radar, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it should be. I mean, all eyeballs are going to be on this series. I mean, you've got two of the three finalists for the Golden Spikes Awards going to be playing in this super regional. I mean, it's got everything that you want Arkansas baseball to be playing for is in it. The
Mm-hmm.
premier super regional matchup, a chance to go to the College World Series, premier players on the field. Obviously, it's going to be. I don't know. I haven't looked at the weather for Fayetteville this weekend, but the crowds are going to
Rain.
be nutty, no matter what the weather's going to be.
Yeah. And let's give a shout out to Chris Curry and the ULR Trojans.
Oh yeah,
Gave LSU all they wanted and then some, and maybe some questionable strike zones on Monday night, or UALR is in a super regional.
yeah. How cool would that have been? Because you know that regional, super regional, and Arkansas super regional are paired up against each other the first game of the College World Series. How about some Arkansas versus Little Rock action in Omaha? That would have been cool to see. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about a team in Little Rock that I called a couple of their games when they played against UCA. Honestly, just weren't a very good team all year long.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows if you get hot at the most opportune time of the season, which they obviously did in the Ohio Valley Conference tournament. They win 5 in a row, and they did what they were supposed to do, and obviously fought off elimination. But you knew they were going to run out of pitching at some point, and LSU's offense was going to show up, and that's what happened. I guess from the sixth inning on in that game on Monday.
Yeah. And hopefully this carries over into good things for them. Chris Curry's a great dude, used to be on the
Mm-hmm.
staff under Dave here at Arkansas. So kudos to them on an outstanding year. So
Yeah.
moving on to softball now. World Series, Championship Series, Longhorns, led by Rosebud's own Jolie
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell, who's
Yeah.
carried a big stick in Oklahoma City. They win game one against Texas Tech and the $1 million pitcher. Can they win the title tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think so. I mean, they've been one of the best teams in the country all year. But I think what's being overshadowed more so than this is you mentioned the replay that's dominated the postseason. These obstruction calls that are being overturned and whatever. Is it that? I mean, I think the casual fan is probably turned off on this because common sense is not winning. And when common
No.
sense doesn't win, nobody wins.
Yes, I would agree that replay is killing this World Series. And what, as an umpire, I struggle with how you can review obstruction because
Hmm.
it's a judgment call, totally a judgment call. And everybody sees this. The college rule is so much different from the high school rule,
Hmm.
which is what we call, obviously, on the high school level, the Federation. That call last night, the high school rule is the runner has to be hindered or interfered with, so to speak. Hindered's the main thing in going to the base. She wasn't hindered last night.
No.
By the high school rule, that's not obstruction.
Yeah.
And that totally changed the whole complexion
So
of the
how's it
game.
different at the college level?
You can, from what I understand on the college rule, you can't be in the baseline. The ball can carry you into, if the throw's carrying you in, you it's just it's a lot more subjective. Whereas the high school rules cut and dry. You have to have possession of the ball.
Yeah.
It's none of
So,
this.
so a catcher can essentially, you could be 25 feet from home plate. I'm standing on the plate. I catch the ball. I'm waiting for you. But since
Yeah.
I'm technically on the plate when I catch it, I'm obstructing.
See, that's what I'm not sure about. In high school, no, but in college, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I I don't know. I don't get it. I try to stay away from the college rules because I don't understand them. I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately for Texas and Texas Tech, tonight is going to be overshadowed in the city. I
Yes,
mean, they thought this was going to be a celebration of Oklahoma softball going for a fifth title in a row. Instead, they are going to be dwarfed, and I mean dwarfed by the sea of humanity that's going downtown to
yes,
watch the Thunder play.
yes, and we will get into that in a minute. But before we leave this, the Oklahoma Texas Tech game on Monday. I
Hmm.
think it was Monday.
Yeah,
The
sounds
elimination
right.
game. Holy cow! The home run from the number 9 hitter with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the last at bat to tie the
Yeah,
game. I mean,
wild,
just
isn't it?
you can't script that stuff. That's why we
No.
love sports. Why we
Hmm.
love it. All right, moving on. Hockey last night started. We'll get to the NBA next. Hockey started last night. Oilers, Panthers, overtime. It's on
Hmm.
TNT, so you got to search for it. Did you watch any of it?
I didn't. I actually forgot it was on, but I do know that I have to go to the Max app to find
Yes.
wherever it is. I mean, what's sad about what I used to love about hockey so much, and I'm pulling it up
Mm-hmm.
right now. It's what I'm looking at. Is for
Yeah.
you to find anything about the game last night, you actually have to go to the hockey page on ESPN.com. It's not even on the homepage. Like
Yeah.
what? That's why I hated when ESPN and NHL broke up because it's
Yes.
just irrelevant anymore, and I think it's lost a lot of the national appeal. But very cool. Obviously, anytime you get overtime in the Stanley Cup Finals, it gets no better.
Yes. And TNT. I don't. It's a shame they're losing the NBA because they've done the same thing with hockey in a short time. Gretzky's on the dais. It's not inside the NHL, but he's on there. I mean, they're great. They're
Mm-hmm.
entertaining and insightful. Um, man, it was a great game. But like you said, out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it with NASCAR, and I'm afraid we're going to see it with college football eventually. But
Yeah.
who knows? All right, so on to the NBA, which is all anybody wants to talk about in Oklahoma City. There's Thunder stuff everywhere. I was there this past weekend umpiring. I mean, Thunder stuff everywhere. Jalen
Mm-hmm.
Williams' smiling face on billboards all over town for Post Oak Toyota, which is awesome. Um,
Yeah.
happy for Jalen and Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a local angle because here guys that we saw play in high school
Mm-hmm.
are now playing for an NBA title, former
Yeah.
Razorbacks as well. I mean, how
Yep.
cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool, and we've actually been pretty lucky the last handful of years about Arkansas natives winning NBA championships. Bobby Portis, Moses Moody with Golden
Mm-hmm.
State, Portis obviously with the Bucks. We've had a pretty good run of in-state products playing for championships, and I think by as long as the series goes like it's supposed to, we're going to have two former Fort Smith Northside guys win an NBA championship this year. I mean, Oklahoma City's been by far the best team in the West, and mainly the best team in the NBA outside of Cleveland during the
Mm-hmm.
regular season. They've mowed through the postseason. But also like the path to this point's been pretty easy for them. As far as seeds, you think
Mm-hmm.
about who Oklahoma City has played in the playoffs. They're the number one seed. Of course, they play the 8. Then they get the 4 seed Denver and a 6 seed in Minnesota, and now they're getting another 4 seed. They're not playing a top 3 seed from either conference, and they've got a chance to
Yeah.
win an NBA championship.
Well, but the Nuggets did win an NBA title what 2 years ago.
That was last
So
year. They're defending champs. Yeah, I mean,
oh
I
yeah, that's
get
right.
it.
It was last
Yeah,
year. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
I
on them. But
understand that point of
yeah,
it, but it's
yeah.
just like the Lakers, the Celtics, the Cavs, all these the Knicks, all these top teams fall by the wayside. Which it's not going to take away from Oklahoma City. It's just
Yeah.
you always want to see the best teams playing at the end, and unfortunately, we're getting a 4 seed Indiana, which I think we're
Mm-hmm.
like plus 700 even this week to win a championship. I mean, it's like the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah. Oh, had it been the Knicks, would you have a different thought on it?
Not right. I don't think the Knicks. Of course, I'm not a national pundit, so I don't think
Yeah.
that highly
Oh,
of the
but be
Knicks.
one right now. Why not?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I worked for ESPN, the Knicks are the greatest thing since Michael Jordan. Like
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing's walking out that door right now. But it's they're in they're an average team and an average conference. I mean, the West has
Yeah.
been by far the superior conference in the NBA
Hmm.
the last 15 years, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and the Thunder are going to be good for a while. I mean, they are
Yeah.
young. They are
Hmm.
young and
They've got
exciting, and they,
100 draft picks.
yeah. I mean, they've done it right.
Hmm.
I was reading something in the Athletic talking about all these um, 40 under 40, and it is crazy how many executives and coaches and people of influence are under the age of 40 in the NBA running the show. It is a young person's league
It
by
is. Yeah.
far. So,
Yeah. And I think we're going to start to see stuff more of the NBA or excuse me, the NFL model. When you hit
mhm.
28, 29, 30, they may start shipping you off for future compensation because you, as you mentioned, it's a young man's game now.
Hmm.
But, granted, the NBA playoffs started 7 months ago, so like
Yeah,
there's been a lot of days off.
yeah, and they'll stretch this series out for
17 days if it goes 7 games.
that's insane. 3 weeks almost. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So they're going to play game one tonight on Thursday. Game two's
Yeah.
not until Sunday, and there's no travel.
Oh, I love it because you know the national media are going to lose their mind in Oklahoma,
Hmm.
having to spend more than 2 hours in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and I got to spend 4 days.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be awesome. They're
Yeah,
going to go nuts. So they deserve it in a way. So
yeah,
do you, Thunder? Is that
Thunder and
did
five.
Thunder in 5? Write it down right there.
Mhm.
I'll I'll say Thunder in 6 because I think I don't know just to
Mhm.
be different. But yeah, I think the Thunder are going to win. So that'll be cool to see those guys get a ring. All right, we caught some flack when we talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the nominees and the inductees, and I think I have the list. This is who got in. Bad Company, Tom Bell, don't know. Chubby Checker, how he wasn't in before is beyond anyone's comprehension. Joe Cocker, Nicky Hopkins, Carol Kay, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Salt and Pepper, Soundgarden, Lenny Waronker, The White Stripes, Warren Zevon. Not on that list, Mariah Carey,
Yeah,
which we caught flack for saying
yeah.
she didn't belong. Do we have that kind of influence? Is she getting snubbed? I mean, we discussed it kind of. We went in depth with our in the mailbox.
Yeah. So about the list, one off.
Yes.
There's too
Yeah.
many people on the list.
Oh, I
I mean, how
agree.
do you have that many inductees in one year? So that
Well,
one, I'll say that.
I know
Bad
Warren.
Company. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they had what one Bad Company. You can you have a song with the same name as your band and be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah, and
Okay.
which is also the same name as the album it came off of too, I
Well, that's
believe.
true.
Bad Company on Bad Company, played by Bad Company.
Yeah, there you
I don't
go.
have a problem with the list. Joe Cocker was a huge favorite of my dad's. He probably still
Yes.
listens to his music all the time. I wasn't
Kind of
really my genre.
surprising
It
he's
wasn't.
not in already.
Yeah, I agree with that. Same thing with Chubby Checker, as you mentioned. Outkast, obviously in the hip hop game, and it's
Yeah.
been huge for 30 years, 35 years.
Salt and
Salt and
Pepper.
Pepper, obviously one of the most famous female hip hop or rap groups. You want to be out there. The White Stripes is a little surprising because I didn't think that they've had the longevity of success. They
Yeah.
were very very popular for a stretch, but I don't know if that they had that storied career, if you will,
Well, they were
Hall of
like a
Fame.
comet. They
Yeah.
just went. They got hot, and then Jack White kind of went off on his own.
So that a little surprising to see the White Stripes on there. I would have certainly picked Mariah Carey before them, but
Yeah.
not before Bad Company or Joe Cocker.
Yeah. Well, and Warren Zevon is, I think, one of those legacy awards, and Tom Bell may be as well. So, but yeah, I mean, how does a guy like Chubby Checker not in till now? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm, I was really shocked by that. So, I thought we should comment on that because now I'm trying to kill because I don't know what I had for our next topic. All right, we'll just fire it up anyway. The NFL schedules were released. 7
Mm-hmm.
international games, 5 countries. I know this was a while back, but we hadn't gotten to it because we talked about other things. did anything jump out at you with the schedule release other than it was all anybody talked about for like 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the NFL has figured out when they have everybody's attention, they're going to take advantage. So Christmas, Thanksgiving now, Cowboys Chiefs is going to just shatter all kinds of viewership records for
Yes.
that day. But I mean, they're doing what they should do. I mean, they're like they know it's okay. We have your attention on this day. We're going to take over. And
Hmm.
with Christmas and what last year it was what Tuesday or Wednesday, and this year I'm gonna pull up the calendar here. Christmas falls on a Thursday. They're adding games. When it falls in the middle of the week like that, I get it's tough, but there's so many eyeballs that are available on Christmas Day that aren't working. They're going to take advantage of it, and obviously all the primetime windows and the ability to flex games is just going to continue to grow and grow. I mean, yeah, they killed it like they always do, and there's always going to be huge games and primetime games. And does it shock anybody that the Cowboys are playing in opening night against the Eagles? No. I mean, the Cowboys are force fed to us no matter how bad they are because they're a national brand.
Yes, and Jerry's crazy enough. It's like a car wreck. You're going to tune in just because what could possibly happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now they're playing every day of the week. You mentioned the Christmas, but think about this: when these TV contracts come up and the ratings they're getting now, we thought these
Mm-hmm.
TV deals were huge. They're going to be out of this world.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't know how much more these companies can spend. To be quite
Yeah,
honest, I mean, I get it. I mean, advertisers are going to pay to be on the NFL, but at some point, Bud Light and Miller Light and everybody else is going to run out of advertising money because they can't afford to be on the NFL anymore. And so, like, these TV contracts aren't going to be able to pay for themselves. But I mean, they're
yeah,
striking while the iron's hot. There's no question about it. Because I mean, people love football and they love professional football because it's the best run sports organization, at least in the United States. Obviously, it's right up there with the Premier League in the world as far as the most popular. It is uncanny how expensive those deals are and how much money everyone is making. But that, we're also going to see that trickle down to players. I mean, the salary cap has jumped $30 million in the last 2 years, and it's going to
yeah.
do nothing but go up.
Well, and it's going to have to because the owners are going to want some more international games,
Oh
and
no.
just I don't. I almost think they need to just chill on the international games because if you're a season ticket holder, you're going to start losing home games.
Yeah, those games. Yep.
So, I mean, and I get it. You're trying to expand your market, but at what point? I mean, don't you reach a saturation point though? Because you're
You
not putting a
do.
franchise overseas.
Yeah, at least you think not yet. I think what we're going to see, and this is probably a 5 year plan. Uh, they're going to bump the season up to 18 weeks,
Hmm.
so 18 games, excuse me. So, but I think it's going to be over 20 weeks. I think every team's going to get a bye, an additional
Yeah.
bye. They're going to take a week from the preseason. They're going to extend it a week into the playoffs. And you're going to get so you got 18 games. So you're going to get 9 games at home or road. You're going to get 8 up versus the other, and I think every team is going to play an international game. I think there's going to be eventually 16 games that are
Wow.
played internationally.
Yeah. Probably so. I like the fact that you give them two buys
Mm,
because and they're talking about trying to do the playoffs and make those last games count. Because let's face it, the last week of the season usually is a dog because
mm-hmm.
everything's decided. But that's also the danger in expanding the season
Yep.
because you're going to get more games that don't mean anything.
Yeah. No, and we saw it last year, and you're exactly right. I mean, there was one meaningful game on the schedule in Week 18.
Yeah.
And so now you think about a 19-week regular season or a 20-week regular season with multiple buys. I mean, there's going to be some teams who have their division wrapped up with 3 weeks left in the season. And they're going to be having to, like, okay, do we play our starters a half this week? Do we play them a quarter? Do we play them the whole game just to keep them rested? It's going to be the problem that a lot of these are facing, but also, like, we're also pushing the regular season away from it you and I grew up, which it meant everything, to
Hmm.
more of the basketball, baseball, hockey model of, like, just get into the tournament and then you've got a chance.
Yes. True. So true. And now with all the focus on TV, it's like, are they going to get to the point where going to the games is not as attractive?
Yeah, I mean it's a thin line anyway. The way the NFL is structured as far as an in game, like being at the game,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty crisp. It's not like it is in college. Like you and I go to a Razorback game and it's a 4 hour marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the NFL, like they're still churning out games in 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like so, like they're still doing a pretty good job of keeping things, bottled up, if you will. The college athletics need to take a uh, page out of that playbook, but they're not going to because they've got so many commercials they got to pay for all their massive contracts.
Mm-hmm.
We're going touchdown, extra point, 4 minute commercial, kickoff, 4 minute commercial in college football. TV timeouts in the NFL are 2.5 minutes, no matter what.
Yeah.
12-minute halftime, no matter what. I mean, it's like it's a quick. Like, hey, let's get in and get out. Let's play a game. We got another window to provide.
Well, the NFL also has somebody in charge.
Yes, also true.
Yeah. All right. So, before we get off the NFL real quick, Frank Ragnow announced his retirement from the Lions after 7 years at the age of 29. Former Razorback, an All Pro, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's very, very good. Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
probably a top five center in the last 20 years. Got to say that. Um, Retiring this early may hinder his options of getting in the Hall of Fame. And are the Lions just snake bit about players retiring early? And granted, he's not
Yeah,
Calvin Johnson, he's not Barry Sanders, but like he's been
but
a perennial
still,
All Pro, and all of a sudden
he's the
he's
heart of that
2 years left
line.
on his contract. 2 more years left on his contract. He walked away from.
Yeah. So, congratulations to him. All right, to
Mm-hmm.
the
You've
mailbag.
got mail.
What is
Oh,
the worst job you've had? Tony wants to know.
go ahead. I'm about to think about this one.
Worst job I had was probably picking blueberries. We tried it for a day. I think we spent 5 hours in the blueberry field and made 42 cents. It
That's
was,
it.
it was, yeah,
Huh.
it was horrific. Horrific. That or working in the cut up line at George's on the 7 piece chicken, hanging chickens every second for 8 hours like this, and and it comes
Yeah, I
flying
would say
at you.
that's got to
Yeah,
be the worst job ever.
yeah, that's got to be
It-
bad.
I haven't had that many jobs. I've actually been really lucky about. Can I say sports director at Channel 5, working for Van Comer? Can I say that?
I think you just did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I loved my job. I did not love. It was a piece of work. No,
Yeah.
I was actually during college, so right after I quit playing football or gave up football, and I had a good job, of course, in college. And so for a month, I worked at a telemarketer.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I was selling. Can't even remember what it was. It's like pop up umbrella canopies for the back of
Oh
your
wow.
house. Yeah, I did that for a month, and then I finally got the phone call. Phone call I was always waiting for
Yeah.
to go work at the Sports Authority, the sporting goods store in Little Rock.
Oh nice. Yeah. Do those
And
even
I did that.
exist?
Not anymore. They don't. No,
Wow.
it was the academy before academies. They existed.
Yes.
They got bought out
Nice.
by some other company, but it was a very cool job to have in college. Got discounts on stuff you wanted.
I can imagine. All right, real quick, our second one. When was the last time you used algebra?
Uh, I don't know that I've ever used algebra, even when I was in algebra class.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. So I
Yeah,
think
freshman year of college. Yeah.
we got our answer there. All right, 5 seconds. Final word today, Mr. Swafford.
At 41 years old, math is hard.